I'm an unwanted child.
The little girl is only 5 years old. Being abandoned by both parents was quite a shock for her, and her eyes held no light. She is the child of my husband and his mistress, whom he left with me after our 10-year marriage. My husband disappeared without a trace, and there has been no communication. Somehow, I felt sorry for the child and decided to live together for a while. As we spent time together, we gradually grew close. Before I knew it, I loved her like my own daughter. Strangely, mysterious events began happening around me. I was born with a heart condition, and since getting married, I've been a full-time homemaker. I'm 38 years old, and my husband Michael is 40. Initially, we both strongly desired to have children and underwent infertility treatments. Considering the strain on my heart and the risks associated with pregnancy and childbirth, we proceeded with mutual understanding. However, even after 10 years of visiting hospitals, we remained childless. Michael suggested,
"We're both getting older. Maybe we should stop trying. I worry about your health too."
He was right. We had aged beyond the optimal childbearing years. Additionally, due to his job as a systems engineer, Michael traveled frequently, spending only a few days at home each month. The chances of pregnancy were already extremely low. We eventually gave up on treatments and began contemplating a future as a childless couple. But as we resigned ourselves to this reality, a shadow fell over our marriage. Michael's business trips increased, and his attitude toward me grew colder.
"Hey, I said I hate these dishes."
Oh. Did you? I apologize.
"Honestly, sometimes you should cook proper meals when I'm home. I'm eating out."
He'd toss his meal into the trash right in front of me. Initially, I thought it was just work stress, but his consistently irritable behavior wore me down.
"You can't even have kids."
He'd say whenever something went wrong. Perhaps he simply wanted to belittle me for any reason. He knew those words hurt me the most. Eventually, I found myself relieved on the days when Michael didn't come home. One day, amidst those melancholic days, an event occurred that would dramatically alter my life. Who? I wondered as I returned from shopping, finding an unfamiliar girl waiting alone inside our home.
I'm Emma.
She introduced herself matter-of-factly, neither crying nor smiling, simply awaiting my next words. So, Emma. Why are you here? I asked, bewildered. In stark contrast to my confusion, Emma calmly replied,
Dad told me to start living here today.
Her unwavering composure somehow put me at ease. Who's Dad?
Michael.
Is it this person? Pointing to a photo of my husband and me displayed in our home, she confirmed his identity.
Dad left a letter,
Emma said, gesturing toward the table. I looked and found a note he'd left behind. It lacked any detailed explanation, containing only the words, "Please take care of her for a while." Utterly baffled, I tried contacting Michael, but he remained unreachable. Upon closer inspection, I noticed most of his belongings were gone from the house. I gradually began to understand the situation and, at the same time, turned pale. Do you know where Daddy went?
I don't know. He disappeared with Mom. I'm an unwanted child.
The mention of the mom caused me to collapse. He had an affair behind my back, and this child is the secret child of my husband and his mistress. In that moment of realization, everything went dark. How old are you?
I'm 5 years old.
Hearing her words, a mix of embarrassment and laughter welled up within me. If Emma is 5, then Michael must have been having an affair for at least 5 years. How could I have been so oblivious for such a long time? Perhaps his recent change in attitude, like suggesting we stop infertility treatments after 10 years, wasn't about concern for my health but rather his growing aversion to our relationship.
Are you okay?
Seeing me fall silent, Emma seemed worried and spoke up. I'm sorry. It's okay. My name is Olivia. Nice to meet you. I couldn't keep lamenting in front of a 5-year-old, so I made an effort to act cheerfully. As I looked at her, I noticed that Emma didn't have any belongings with her. The only clue to her identity was a photo of her and her mother tucked into her pocket. She told me her mother's name, pointing to the woman in the photo.
This person is Mommy.
Could this woman be my husband's mistress, the one who abandoned Emma and ran away with him? While it might be typical to consult the appropriate authorities to determine the mistress's identity and seek child protection, even knowing this, I found myself torn about whether I should abandon little Emma right in front of me. Abandoned by her biological parents and abruptly brought to a stranger's home, how would she feel if she were sent somewhere else again? Think of it as taking care of Michael's child. After much deliberation, I reluctantly convinced myself. And so began the strange coexistence of Michael's secret child.
Olivia, the bath is ready. I made sure the water is warm enough.
Thank you. Emma, you're amazing. You've already learned that too. Initially, she only answered when asked, but as we lived together, we gradually grew close. Emma was exceptionally bright and quickly picked up everyday tasks, even assisting me.
Olivia, you should buy this.
Why?
Just a feeling. I think something good might happen.
Living with Emma, I often received these small pieces of advice. Without any apparent reason, she would whisper suggestions like,
Do it this way.
or,
Try that.
strangely, whenever I followed her advice, things worked out well. I don't know why, but maybe she has a mysterious ability to see the future. I thought. Initially, it was out of sympathy, but after 6 months, I couldn't imagine life without her. Despite no blood connection, I had come to think of Emma as my own daughter. Just at that moment, a divorce certificate with my husband's signature arrived. When I saw it, I felt no particular emotion. I had no attachment to a man who had an affair, fathered a child, and then abandoned that child. I promptly began the necessary procedures to settle things with Michael. I don't care about the divorce, but I'll definitely claim alimony from both of you. I resolved. First, I attempted to identify the mistress's identity. Checking my husband's family register, I found Emma's name and the mistress's name listed under the acknowledgement section. Huh? What does this mean? However, I discovered an unexpected truth. Faced with Michael's selfishness and malice, I felt that ordinary retribution wouldn't suffice. I decided to thoroughly corner my husband.
Olivia, you know.
Just then, as if perfectly timed, Emma offered me some advice. About a month later, my husband suddenly returned home. It had been several months since we last saw each other, and he looked utterly disheveled. His complexion was pale, his beard and hair unkempt, and it seemed he hadn't changed clothes in a while. Maybe you should take a bath first? I suggested. But my husband's response was far from grateful. He shouted,
Where's my daughter? Give her back.
Why are you here? And why the attitude? Normally, I wouldn't even let you inside the house.
Enough! Give me my child. She's mine. Ever since she disappeared, nothing but misfortune has befallen me.
Before he could finish, he clamped his mouth shut. Interesting choice of words. What does your misfortune have to do with Emma? He stammered.
Well, you see.
Is this misfortune related to Mom's parents' company going bankrupt, or your affair being exposed to another woman, or perhaps a personal illness? I pressed. As I confronted him, Michael's eyes widened, and he froze. You've had 3 other relationships besides me, haven't you? I know all about them, I declared. I had thoroughly investigated my husband, revealing his actions. According to the family register I checked a month ago, Emma's mother had already passed away. The woman Emma called Mommy was deceased, and the one she referred to as a mom had vanished along with Michael. I successfully enlisted the help of a private investigator and met with Emma's mother's brother. You met this woman during a business trip. This person is the first mistress, Sophia, and Emma's biological mother. Sophia's brother explained that he hadn't known anything about Sophia's life before her tragic accident 6 months ago because they lived apart. When I requested further investigation from the private investigator, the backgrounds of both the woman whom Emma referred to as a mom and the other lover have gradually come to light. Emma used to call the woman who disappeared with you Mom. Such a tasteless way to address her.
That's because Emma cried and missed her mother, so I just told her that the new woman is her mom.
When the first mistress was no longer around, he smoothly moved on to the next woman. It seems my husband doesn't consider Emma at all. Next, this woman is the heiress of a major corporation, Isabella. Apparently, there was no successor. Now I understand why you entrusted Emma to us. Additionally, Michael had an affair with Charlotte, a receptionist working at an out-of-town branch. He maintained this relationship during his business trips.
We'll discuss this later. Just give me back my daughter. She's the only one I have.
Don't dodge the issue. And what do you plan to do with her now?
What's wrong with a biological parent taking the child back? She's mine. I need her help, just like before.
My husband, perhaps already unapologetic, began to speak without concealing his true nature. Emma's mysterious abilities apparently manifested even in front of Michael. She began to speak early, often offering advice to him. When he desired money, she accurately predicted lottery numbers or which horse to bet on in horse racing.
I used to find it creepy, but if it's useful, I'll use anything.
You're despicable. You're a completely different person from before. Let's get a divorce. And of course, I'll be seeking alimony.
The divorce papers have already been sent, haven't they? Besides, you and Emma are practically strangers. As her father, it's my right to take custody. Once that happens, money will come in quickly.
My husband's shameless words made me feel nauseated. What are you saying? We're definitely going to fight for custody.
You and Emma have no real connection.
No, Emma is my adopted child. So I have the right to fight. My statement seemed to genuinely surprise Michael, and his eyes widened. Despite being the one who initiated this situation, had he truly forgotten? Weren't you the one who agreed to Emma's adoption by me? You even signed the paperwork. Since leaving Emma in my care, it appeared that Michael had been progressing with formal engagement to his second mistress, Isabella. He planned to initiate the divorce at the right moment and join Isabella's father's company. I maintained a calm facade, sending Michael the necessary documents with the phrase, "I will take care of this child. Please approve the adoption." It was Emma's advice that led me to seek revenge against Michael,
Make me your daughter, Olivia.
In pursuit of his marriage to Isabella, Michael readily agreed to Emma's adoption. However, shortly after Emma officially became my adopted daughter, Isabella's parents' company faced financial difficulties and went bankrupt. Realizing he couldn't secure a position at Isabella's company, Michael swiftly shifted his attention to another woman, Charlotte. Unfortunately for him, Charlotte discovered his marital status through other colleagues. Additionally, Michael's own health issues began affecting his work.
Why do you know all this?
As he realized I was privy to every detail, Michael trembled. It was a culmination of the private investigator's work, my personal research, and Emma's advice, all coming together to reveal the truth. Emma's mother's brother, Isabella's family, and even Charlotte's family, all of them know about this. Someone else, not just me, will come forward to sue you. There's no escaping it, I asserted, emphasizing each word. Michael's face contorted as he realized the depth of his predicament. Then, in the next moment, he broke down in tears.
I didn't want to give up. Children, status, and the allure of being a man. With you alone, I couldn't achieve anything, could I?
Then you should have severed ties with me. You could have played around as much as you wanted. Thinking you could get only what you wanted without losing anything is naive. Finally, he apologized. But in that vulnerable moment, he revealed a disturbing, half-mad laughter.
So, let's raise my daughter together.
As he uttered those unthinkable words, goosebumps crawled across my skin. What are you saying?
Well, you're a stay-at-home wife, right? You have health issues, and raising a child will cost more and more. You can't do it alone.
No. I'm already working, earning enough to comfortably support both myself and my child. You may not know, but I've been studying web design, video editing, and programming. I've built a stable income even before Emma arrived. Fine, I'll leave this house. After all, it's in your name. My husband remained silent, merely moving his lips without responding. I informed him. I'll handle the legal matters through a lawyer. I began packing my belongings. But he pleaded.
Wait! Let me see Emma!
While Michael kept repeating the same thing like a broken record, unfortunately for him, Emma wasn't here that day. Besides, I had no obligation to fulfill his wishes. The subsequent divorce proceedings were surprisingly uneventful. All communication went through our lawyers, and the divorce was finalized smoothly. We settled on alimony and child support arrangements. Despite my initial apprehension, Michael seemed too preoccupied to contest anything. As for his second and third mistresses, they apparently didn't know about his marital status, and he is facing legal consequences for fraudulent relationships with each of them. Rumors spread like wildfire at his workplace. Unable to quit due to the need to pay alimony, and with deteriorating health, it truly feels like hell. I moved to a distant town with Emma, my newfound daughter, and started a new life. Her mysterious abilities remain intact. Whenever I'm troubled, she subtly comes to my aid. I look forward to continuing our happy life together.
How did you find this story? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time in the next video.